Okay, today's recording that I've been listening to, it's not a podcast. So it is, I just have to share how mind-blowing this has been to listen to, because I know I have ADHD. I have, when I have piles around the house, I try to explain to my ex-husband, and my new partner understands it so much better, but there's piles around the house. I know that's from my ADHD. I leave a cup sitting on a table for days, and that's not intentional. That's not me being lazy. I literally don't see the cup. Like, obviously I see it, but I don't, it doesn't register past my eyeballs that there's been a cup there for 4 days. Or sometimes it even does, and I'm like, next time I walk by that cup, I gotta pick it up, but it just sits there. So those are the types of things that led me to believe that I was dealing with ADHD. But listening to this girl talk has been really a huge eye-opener, to the point that I'm just like, how much of my personality is actually just like my uniqueness versus ADHD? Because everything she is saying is literally my everyday. For example, she talks about tasks, and when she's given a task at work or at home, how the average person can just start it. It's like she shows it like a staircase, and the average person just steps on the first step and takes the first step, and then when they're completed that step, they go to the next step, and then they go to the next step. And then the graphic for an ADHD person, the first step is like 50 feet tall, and the rest of the steps are okay, actually, except the final step. Not in her graphic, but in my brain, the final step is also probably like 20 feet tall. So it's getting yourself to that first step that is the real challenge and struggle, and sometimes just can't happen until something huge makes it happen. That is I obviously know we struggle completing projects, most people with ADHD, but I didn't realize that first step was so huge for most of us. The other thing she talked about was how you complete a project, how you complete a task. So again, say there's a brick building here and you need to move it over here, or for example, like the to-do, you need to move it from to-do to done. And the average person will start with one, and brick by brick or task by task move it over to the to-do in a very logical way. And I can never do that. I never start one task, complete that task, start the second task, complete the second task. I am always taking a brick from the middle and moving it over to the done, taking a brick from the top of this one, moving it over to the done. I'm constantly picking away at all the tasks instead of methodically completing one at a time, and rarely finishing any of those tasks. So the to-dos over here are picked apart, and the completed over here are just pieces. And again, I didn't realize that was such a common thing for ADHD. I just thought I did things weird. I don't know. I don't even know what I thought. I beat myself up about it. I don't like that part of me, but I either start with the easy stuff and then get overwhelmed with what to do next, or the next step is going to be more difficult, or the next step requires a lot of extra steps, or I just get bored. There's another thing. I just thought I get bored easily. I don't know. I don't like that about me either, really, but I really thought that especially was just a me thing. And then she is describing all these things that she'll start them and then get bored of them. And I'm learning now, we're low on dopamine. So we look for the next exciting thing to do, and that's to boost our dopamine so that we'll just be at a normal level of dopamine. So it's not necessarily our faults that we can't finish the task like the average person might, because they have the dopamine to get them through the whole task and we don't. So then our body goes searching for a new high, a new fix of dopamine, which is generally starting a new project or planning something new or totally something different. So anyway, I'm not even done it, but those 2 or 3 things were such a big aha for me that I wanted to share them.